Dawn breaks pale and quiet over the city. Cold air. A bus rattles. Emma Reyes presses her forehead to the window. Breath fogs the glass. She rubs a circle clear with the edge of her sleeve. Hands cracked from bleach. Nails short. A tiny crucifix tucked into her palm like a secret. Next stop, Hailstone Drive, the driver calls. The billionaire's mansion appears behind iron gates and tamarind trees. Glass glows gold. Marble steps wait like teeth. The air smells of trimmed hedges and chlorine. Inside, footsteps echo, crisp and hollow. Emma ties her apron. "Morning, Evelyn," she whispers to the head housekeeper. Elegant, pearl earrings, clipped smile. Evelyn doesn't look up. Master sweet. Now. There's tension in those two words. Emma feels it like a wire pulled tight. She slips on blue shoe covers. The carpet is pale cream, as soft as breath. In the dressing room, the lights are too bright. Closets breathe perfume and expensive cedar. Drawers whisper shut. The floor hums under the weight of the house. Emma wipes, folds, dusts. The routine calms her. A tune under her breath. She thinks of rent due. Of her mother's laugh in better times. Of Sophia, the billionaire's daughter, who sometimes leaves notes. "Thank you, Emma. Sleep more. Drink water." Little kindnesses in a cold palace. Then, raised voices. Men's shoes, fast. The smell of cologne and panic. Michael Crane, the family lawyer, appears in the doorway with a guard. Cufflinks like tiny knives. "Stop," he orders. "Don't touch anything." Emma freezes. "Sir." Evelyn glides in, lips straight. Behind her, Robert Hale, impeccable suit, tired eyes like polished stone. The room chills. "Where is it?" Michael asks. "Where is what?" Emma's voice is small. Hands trembling now. Cloth falls to the floor. "The Hale diamond," Evelyn says. "Ms. Reyes, the necklace is missing." The guard opens Emma's gray locker in the staff hallway. The click is loud as a shot. Inside, her cardigan. A lunchbox. A photo of her little brother smiling through missing teeth. And a velvet pouch she's never seen. Michael tips the pouch. Diamonds tumble into his palm. A star falling in a quiet room. Emma's mouth opens but no sound comes. Silence. How do you defend yourself against a miracle that wants you destroyed? Robert's jaw tightens. He doesn't look at Emma. "Call the police." The ride in the patrol car smells of dust and old coffee. The cuffs bite. Cameras flash at the gate like angry insects. A reporter shouts, "Maid steals from Billionaire." Emma flinches. She thinks of Sophia. Of the little notes. Of kindness. Was any of it real? At the precinct, the buzz of fluorescent lights. Paper stacked. A metal chair colder than winter. "I didn't take anything," she says, again and again, like a prayer that refuses to end. The officer yawns. "Save it for court, ma'am." She calls no one. Who would believe her? Who would pay for a lawyer? She sleeps in breaths, cheek against her forearm, waking to the thunder of doors and the dry scrape of pens. Her heart drums, quick and sore, all night. Morning paints the courthouse in gray water. Emma's shoes leave half-moons on the polished floor. The hallway echoes with heels and whispers. "Thief," someone mutters. The word follows her like a fly. Inside the courtroom, the wood is dark. The air smells of old books and lemon oil. Judge John Atwood sits high, deliberate, expression unreadable. The clock ticks, too loud, like a hammer tapping on glass. Robert Hale on the left. Michael Crane beside him. Evelyn sits straight-backed, gloved hands folded in her lap. Emma stands alone at the defense table. Breath shallow. Shoulders squared anyway. "Do you ever feel the whole world has already written your ending?" she wonders aloud. "And you're still at the beginning?" A door at the back opens. Soft. Then wider. A young woman steps in, hair swept back, navy blazer over a white tee, no makeup except courage. Sophia Hale. Eyes clear. Spine straight. She looks at Emma. Not through her. At her. Something unspoken moves between them like wind through long grass. She takes a seat in the last row. Judge Atwood lifts his gavel. Case 4187, State versus Emma Reyes. The gavel falls. A hollow crack. Sophia's phone lights up in her lap with a single word, ready. Ms. Reyes, Judge Atwood says, voice steady. You stand accused of felony grand larceny. How do you plead? Emma swallows. The microphone pops. Not guilty, Your Honor. The words wobble but stand. Michael Crane rises. His suit whispers as he moves. Your Honor, the evidence is plain. The Hale diamond was found in Ms. Reyes's personal locker. Surveillance places her in the dressing room at 6:12 a.m. No other staff entered for another 40 minutes. He slides glossy photos onto the table like playing cards that always win. The screen displays Emma's silhouette in the bright dressing room. A grainy figure. Her heart sprints. She remembers the smell of cedar, the hum of air vents, the quiet of being the only one awake. Mr. Hale, Michael says, please describe the necklace. Robert stands. 106 diamonds. Center stone 3 carats. Family heirloom. His voice is stainless steel. He does not look at Emma. Doesn't even glance. Judge Atwood nods. Defense. There is no defense. Only Emma. And silence. Silence. I cleaned, Your Honor, she says. Evelyn told me. I didn't know about any necklace. I didn't open my locker. She turns to the crowd. Have you ever been so sure of your own hands that seeing them in a stranger's story breaks you? A murmur. Throats clear. A cough. The clock ticks again. Michael smiles without warmth. So the diamonds walked themselves into your locker? Evelyn lifts a handkerchief to her mouth. It's heartbreaking, she says, softly, as if her voice could bless the lie. Emma grips the edge of the table. Knuckles white. I don't know how they got there. I only know I didn't take them. Judge Atwood leans forward. Do you have counsel? Emma shakes her head. No, Your Honor. Do you wish to proceed without an attorney? She looks at her shoes. Mud from the bus stop dried into maps she can't read. I have no choice. In the last row, Sophia's jaw flexes. She presses her phone tighter. The message on the screen glows. Ready. Michael calls the security guard. The man fidgets, eyes darting. We conducted a search of the lockers at 7:05 a.m. I opened Ms. Reyes's locker. The pouch was inside. Who told you to search? Judge Atwood asks. Housekeeping. Mrs. Evelyn Price, the guard replies. He doesn't see how Evelyn's gaze pins him like a specimen. Emma's throat is dry. Evelyn, you told me to clean. Why? Evelyn's smile never reaches her eyes. Because we trust you. Trusted. Do you? Emma asks the room. Do you really know the people who serve you? Or do you know the stories you've written about them? The screen switches to a still of Emma's face in profile. Michael taps his pen. No further questions. Judge Atwood looks at Emma. You may step down. She does. Legs like glass. The floor seems farther away, the ceiling lower. The courtroom murmurs. It feels like a tide she can't push back. Sophia rises. Not yet. Sit. Wait. Her fingers tremble, then still. Resolve settles on her shoulders like a cloak. She looks at her father. He is a statue carved from a single mistake. Emma returns to her seat. A tear drops onto the table and explodes into a dark star on the wood. She wipes it away with the cuff of her sleeve, small and stubborn. Judge Atwood glances toward the gallery. Any further evidence, Mr. Crane? Michael smiles. Plenty. Sophia takes one step into the aisle, draws breath to speak. If stories where truth fights back matter to you, tap like, subscribe, and share, so more people hear voices like Emma's. Back to court. Your Honor, Sophia says, voice calm as a held note. I request permission to address the court. Michael turns, surprise cracking his composure. Ms. Hale, with respect. This is irregular. Judge Atwood raises a palm. Identify yourself for the record. Sophia Hale, daughter of the complainant. She steps forward, heels gentle. No drama in the way she moves. Only intent. And I have evidence. A ripple rolls through the room. Evelyn's pearl earrings stop swinging. Robert's eyes sharpen, finally seeing his own child as if she's a stranger delivering a storm. Sophia, he murmurs, warning woven into her name. She slides a small device from her blazer. 2 months ago, a ring went missing. Staff were questioned. No proof. But something felt wrong. So I placed a discreet camera in my dressing room. Legal. In my own room, yes. Hidden. Also yes. She meets the judge's gaze. I didn't want to believe anyone I loved was lying. The bailiff takes the device. A screen flickers to life. The room goes very quiet. Silence. Night vision blooms. The dressing room, empty. A timestamp crawls, 5:33 a.m. A figure enters. Not Emma. Taller. A scarf. Gloves. The person moves with a careful hurry. Opens a drawer. Lifts the velvet pouch. The breath in the room holds tight. The figure exits. Timestamp, 5:36 a.m. Cut. New angle. A dim hallway. Staff lockers. The figure opens one. Gray metal. Emma's. The pouch disappears inside. The figure freezes a beat, then glances left. The face turns. Clear. Evelyn, Sophia says. Soft. Breaking. It's you. Gasps ripple like rain on tin. Evelyn doesn't move. The pearls in her ears suddenly look cheap. Judge Atwood nods. Freeze there. He leans toward the screen. His eyes are needles. Ms. Price. Evelyn's voice is airless. There must be some mistake. That can't be me. Michael finds his voice. Objection. Chain of custody. Authentication. Sophia adds another blade of truth. There's audio. She taps her phone. A voice note plays, breathy and clipped. Evelyn's whisper. Put the pouch in Reyes's locker. Quick. We need a clean story before Mr. Hale wakes. Another voice, the guard's, nervous. Ma'am, are you sure? We protect the family name, Evelyn hisses. Do it. The courtroom breathes out as one. Robert does not sit. He cannot. Shame takes the chair instead. Emma's hands shake. She presses her palms flat. The wood is warm. Do you ever feel your life slipping back into your own body? She asks, tears shining. Like your name finally belongs to you again? Michael sputters. Your Honor, this is shocking. We request adjournment to. No, Judge Atwood says, voice low, iron under silk. We proceed. Sophia looks at Emma. I am so sorry. Then she turns to her father. You told me we protect what's right, Dad. Was that a slogan? Or did it mean something? Robert's mouth opens. Closes. He looks older, as if the truth took sleep from his bones. Evelyn finally speaks. Robert, I did what you never could. I cleaned up your mess. What mess? Sophia asks. Say it. Evelyn lifts her chin. Insurance. Losses. Image. All of it is a story. I wrote a better one. The bailiff steps closer to Evelyn. The air tastes different now. like metal before rain. Robert turns to the judge. Your Honor, he says, voice rough. Before you decide, there is something I need to confess. Robert Hale stands in the well of the court, unarmored for the first time. No podium, no boardroom table, no screen between him and what he made. I didn't order it, he says. I didn't tell Evelyn to plant anything. He looks at Emma. His voice frays. But I knew. A hush drops. Silence. Even the clock is careful now. When the diamond first went missing, Robert continues, Evelyn came to me. She said she'd handle it. That a narrative would protect us. I asked no questions. I told myself that was leadership. He grimaces. It was cowardice. Michael stares at his client like he's never met the man. Robert. Let him speak, Judge Atwood says. Robert's hands shake. He clamps them together. I built a company on control. On the idea that everything can be managed, spun, polished. But people aren't press releases. He swallows hard. Ms. Reyes, the night before the police came, Sophia told me you had been kind to her. That you made her peppermint tea when her panic attacks came back. He forces himself to look at Emma at last. I believed my brand over my daughter. Sophia's eyes shine, grief and pride braided. What do we do when the truth hurts the people we love? She asks the room. Do we bury it? Or do we let it breathe? Evelyn's mask slides back into place. You'll tank the company, she murmurs. Is that what you want? To watch your life's work burn because a maid cried prettier than you? Emma flinches. Then straightens. I have a name, she says quietly. It is not Maid. It is Emma. She looks toward the gallery. And I am asking everyone here, when you hear someone stripped to a label, do you challenge it? Or let it pass because it's easy? Michael tries to rebuild the wall. Your Honor, these statements are immaterial to the facts. The facts, Judge Atwood replies, just walked into this courtroom and plugged themselves into the wall. Laughter bubbles and dies. The judge's face doesn't change. He turns to Sophia. Ms. Hale, your evidence is compelling. We'll recess for 20 minutes to review admissibility and confer with counsel. His gavel lifts. Your Honor, Emma blurts, surprised at her own courage. May I say one more thing? He nods. She breathes in, out. I forgive those who framed me. A beat. But I won't forget. Not because I want revenge. Because I want change. The words hang, weightless and heavy at once. Silence. Recess. The room erupts. Reporters sprint. Pens scratch. The hallway smells like coffee and tension. Robert sinks onto a bench, eyes on his hands, as if answers might be hiding in the lines of his palms. Sophia sits beside Emma on the wooden pew. Peppermint tea, she says, a small smile. You remembered. You shook, Emma replies. So I held the cup with you. Her voice breaks. I wanted to hold your father's hand too. To say, look. Look at your daughter. She is brave. Sophia's fingers brush Emma's knuckles. Will you stand with me in there? Always. Evelyn paces, pearls tapping like tiny clocks. Michael whispers to her. She doesn't hear. The bailiff hovers, patient as weather. A bell chimes. The courtroom refills. Judge Atwood returns. His robe moves like dark water. He takes his seat. The gavel rises. On the charge of grand larceny against Emma Reyes, Judge Atwood says, eyes sweeping the room, this court finds, not guilty. The words land like rain after a season of dust. The gallery exhales. Emma closes her eyes. A sob escapes, small and clean. She grips the table to keep from floating away. Judge Atwood continues. The court refers evidence regarding Ms. Evelyn Price to the district attorney for immediate investigation on counts of evidence tampering, obstruction, and conspiracy. Bailiff. Evelyn lifts her chin. You'll regret this, she tells the room, but her voice has lost its kingdom. The bailiff approaches. Cuffs click. Pearls go quiet. Robert stands. Not to protest. To speak. Ms. Reyes, he says, and the Ms. is a bridge. I am sorry. It is not enough. It will not be enough even when I pay for your time, your trouble, your... He swallows. Your name. Emma looks at him for a long moment. Then she nods. Once. I accept your apology, she says. And your promise to fix what you can. What can I fix? He asks, almost a plea. Start with your house, Emma answers softly. Then your company. Then your stories. Sophia steps closer. I'm starting a fund, she tells Emma, voice shaking with purpose. For workers who get crushed by the machines built to protect people like us. Will you help me run it? You see things we don't. Emma blinks. Me. You make peppermint tea, Sophia says, smiling through tears, and you hold cups with both hands when someone shakes. That's leadership. Michael clears his throat. Mr. Hale, we'll coordinate with PR. Robert raises a hand. No spin. Sir. No spin, Robert repeats. We say what happened. We say we were wrong. Judge Atwood nods once, approving something that isn't in the record but should be. Reporters swarm when the doors open. Cameras glitter. Questions slap the air. Sophia. Did you betray your father? Emma, how does it feel to be free? Mr. Hale, will you step down? In the crush, a quiet thing happens. Sophia reaches for Emma's hand. Emma hesitates. Then she lets Sophia take it. Two different worlds, fingers threaded. The flash of bulbs can't bleach that color out. Outside, wind lifts the edge of Emma's hair. It smells like coming rain. She tilts her face up, eyes closed for a beat. Silence. A simple luxury, to breathe without a cage. Do you believe people can change? Sophia asks, softly. Emma considers. I believe people can choose. She glances back at the courthouse. Today, your father chose to tell the truth. Robert joins them. He looks smaller beneath the open sky, more human. Emma, would you meet with me and Sophia? Tomorrow. No lawyers. Emma's smile is tired and real. Yes. But if you try to spin me, I'll bring peppermint tea and burn your tongue. He laughs, a surprised, grateful sound. Deal. As they leave the steps, the crowd parts. Not for money. Not for power. For a story that walked itself into daylight and stayed. Emma slips her crucifix back under her shirt. Not a shield. A reminder. She thinks of the early morning bus. Of cracked hands. Of the cold metal chair at the precinct. Of Sophia's brave voice. Of Evelyn's pearls going quiet. Of Judge John's steady eyes. Of Michael learning that some messes don't want mops, they want a mirror. She looks at you now, through the lens. If you were in Sophia's place, she asks, would you have stood up? Against a father you love? Against a system that serves you? Be honest, what would you risk for the truth?